baby, you can drive my car.
I got a ticket to ride. Strawberry fields forever.
That's not my yellow submarine.
That's an invitation. Roll on up to the Magical Mystery Tour. The Magical Mystery Tour is waiting to take you away. It's waiting to take you away.
Good evening and welcome to this year's 7 Acres Gala, appropriately themed, All You Need Is Love. My name is Courtney Zabowski-Haas and I'm delighted to be with you all this evening. Joining me are Judy Yambra, 7 Acres past president and Spirit of Life honoree, and Brad Rauch, current board president. We are honored to be the anchors of this year's virtual gala. Many of you know just how much 7 Acres means to the Houston community and to our Jewish legacy. Since 1943, the home has honored our mothers and fathers, putting quality of care, respect, and wellness at the forefront. As a result, we take every opportunity we can to support the wonderful work that 7 Acres does. These past months, 7 Acres has weathered the staggering cost of COVID-19, as PPE and weekly testing have caused an unprecedented budget challenge. Fortunately, we know we can overcome any obstacle as we get by with a little help from our friends. All we need is love, so we hope you will come together to show that love this evening.
The Joyce, Proler, Schechter Spirit of Life Award honorees tonight are well-deserving people, the entire staff of 7 Acres and the Medallion Assisted Living. We couldn't think of a more deserving group of dedicated people to honor this year because each staff member has embodied the commitment and service to our elder and elder-disabled residents and their families living at 7 Acres. Later in the program, you will see what a day in the life is like for one of our amazing staff at 7 Acres. Virtual gala? We weren't sure what to expect for this year, but your sponsorships this evening have exceeded our expectations. We want to thank all of you who help us honor and nurture together by donating and purchasing virtual tables, tickets, and we want to thank our volunteers and all those across the universe who support the 7 Acres mission and vision. For those of you who are viewing as guests, there will be plenty of opportunities for you throughout the evening to contribute in a significant way to this worthwhile cause. We have a wonderful auction this evening. Thank you to everyone who has worked tirelessly to ensure that we all have an enjoyable evening. The 2021 Live Appeal is for COVID-19 support, which is imperative for the health and safety of the elderly and elder-disabled abiding at 7 Acres. Information is included in your basket. Again, thank you all for being with us in spirit and for sharing your time this evening.
Hello, I'm Bradley Rauch, President of the Board of Directors at 7 Acres. First, we would like to thank the leadership of the Jewish Federation of Greater Houston. We are fortunate to have their valued partnership in our mission, and we feel extremely fortunate this year to receive extra funding through the Federation's COVID-19 campaign. I hope everyone out there is having some virtual fun and has checked out some of the terrific items that we have up for auction this evening. Now, we would like to present to you a heartwarming video about our mission and honorees.
So my grandmother is a very special person. She actually kind of raised me when I was younger. We grew up in Czechoslovakia. And then she came here, probably 20 years ago, and so we've spent a lot of time together.
Mom came to America to join our family, and her life was pretty good. She was very active. Matter of fact, she learned how to speak English in her 80s.
She survived the Holocaust. She's had a couple hip replacements. She's had some health issues. But she's about to be 99. And so we're just incredibly excited that we get to spend all this time with her.
And she had pretty good life until she fell. It just went from bad to worse.
As her health started to deteriorate, we thought it made sense to kind of move her here and get a little extra care. I think changing environments at that age can be difficult, but it's been a real blessing. I think she's been at 7 Acres for about 4 or 5 years. She gets to play bingo and there are social activities, and clearly she gets the 24-hour care that she needs.
This is like the best care here, the best really people who are working here, and she got really the best care at 7 Acres, so we are very thankful.
I've been at 7 Acres for 4 years now. I love what I do. I love being a nurse. I love working with the elderly patients. And I think 7 Acres has a good work environment. The residents are easygoing, they're very upbeat. So I like coming in to 7 Acres and, talking to them and getting to know them a little bit more. And they're a little, they're elderly, so they have a lot of stories. I like listening to their stories. You have a good support behind. If you need something, you always can run to your supervisor, or for me, the DON, you can always run to them. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons. The work environment is not stressful. So a typical day for me, it's coming in through the front door, filling in my questionnaire, going and taking my temperature. From there, I go and clock in. I have to come back into the room where we put all our PPE on. I have to put on my gown, my face shield. From there, we have a blue line that we cross over to the wolf unit. I have to make sure when I come in, I disinfect everything. So I disinfect the nurse's station, I disinfect my cart, the equipment that I'm gonna be using, like the blood pressure machine, the oximeter. And now it's more like a more strict process, because you have to make sure that between every resident, you have to be disinfecting. So it's taking a little bit longer to finish your job, because you are being so strict about every process that you're having to take. You don't get that close interaction as much anymore, because you have to be cautious that you are coming from outside and you are coming to see them. So you do have to go in there, you still communicate with them and tell them, but it's not the same interaction as we did before. We are wearing our masks, we are wearing our PPE, so most of the time they'll tell me, "And who are you?" So I have to constantly tell them, "Oh, it's Diana." "Oh, okay, it's Diana."
I've been in the Life Enrichment Department at 7 Acres for 11 years, and I'm in charge of the activities for the residents both on and off the units. My job is really unique and special because we really are the ones that connect the families to their loved ones. The last activity that we had was our Alex Deitzer Go Texan Day, and we had that back in March, and then everything changed.
And so when COVID happened, and they had to be really in their room, confined in their room, I think the toughest part for her was the lack of the social interaction.
That's when my nephew, her younger son, who lives in San Francisco, sent her the iPad.
And then we were able to see her, and she was able to see kind of the world outside of her room, which I think was really helpful for her.
My staff and I had to get really creative and figure out what we were going to do, how we were going to keep the residents entertained while they had to be in their rooms. So we came up with things like hallway bingo, hallway happy hour, hallway exercise, and this is where the residents participated in these things, but they were in their doorway, so they were still socially distanced and they could participate.
And so as soon as the window visits were open, we signed up for our slots. And we would come in and I would bring my kids and she would get to see the grandkids as well. And it was great. You know, again, like the iPad, I think lifted her spirits, and then the window visits, I mean, you could see, you know, she was just really happy to see us again and happy, frankly, to come downstairs and get a little bit of a change of scenery.
I think that it was a great idea to do window visit since we could not visit in person, because that really gave us opportunity to see her, to talk to her. So I think that that was really a great idea. It was a big improvement from not seeing her or seeing her on iPad to see her over the window.
The essential care training and visits have really been a godsend. You go through a training program, you learn how to put on PPE, face mask, gown, in addition to having a negative COVID test. And then on a weekly basis, I can come in and I can physically see my grandmother. I could give her a hug, which again, just the ability to, after months and months of not being able to see her, to actually see her in person and to be able to hug her, you know, has been huge. I always marvel at the nurses and the staff that work here. I mean, the nurses here have incredible patience. And so, you know, I think the COVID pandemic really just probably made everything much worse, right? Much harder. And so I can't imagine, you know, the nurses and the staff dealing with COVID and dealing with their lives at home and having to manage the lockdown and then coming here and having to do it as well.
I honestly believe that 7 Acres and the administration have done everything that they possibly can do. The whole temperature check and, you know, coming in through one door, the fact that we have PPE that we can use, you know, we're keeping people in certain areas so they're not constantly changing like floors, so everything is being controlled. It was very controlled and it was very early on. You know, they were prepared for it already. And I think that helped the staff a lot more than having to rush into getting everything together. So I feel like 7 Acres has done everything they possibly can do to keep everybody safe.
I am so proud of my staff. They have gone above and beyond. Things change so often, and it's such an honor to work here and be able to help the residents. We feel really good about what we're able to do. It's just a great place to work, to all know that we're really an extended family for each other.
We're, you know, extremely thankful for the work of the staff, of the nurses, of the board. You know, I think 7 Acres is incredibly run. And the testament to that is my grandmother. I mean, she's incredibly happy. Every time we see her, she's telling me about the bingo she played, or the songs that they were singing, or the conversation she was having at lunch. And so that to me is the testament that this place is working and is fulfilling its mission.
I would really like to thank the staff of 7 Acres. I know how hard everybody is working, and they are trying to accommodate the residents, even though this is like unprecedented time. Thank you very much to everybody at 7 Acres. You made their life easier under those very difficult circumstances.
As you can see, our focus has been on the total and complete safety and care of our vulnerable residents. The urgent action we take today can prevent the COVID-19 pandemic from becoming a lasting crisis for the home, especially for our most vulnerable. There is no time to lose. Without immediate funding and continued key interventions to deliver essentials and maintain routine services for vulnerable elders, many could lose lives due to the direct impact of COVID-19. It sure has been a hard day's night, and we need you to help us respond, to recover, and to reimagine a world where we can build back better for every senior. So please join us. We are asking for your help this evening to raise $100,000 for charity care and the operational challenges this global pandemic has imposed on the home and our residents. Please help us help our residents so they can continue to be safe and infection-free. Yesterday, our troubles seemed so far away. With your help, they don't have to be here to stay. Now is the time to fill out your live appeal card or put those virtual paddles up and click the amount you would like to donate. A big thank you from me to you. I invite all our 7 Acres Live Appeal donors here tonight to ask your friends to match your donation. We could instantly double our impact for the home and the charity care for our residents.
And now, Joyce Proler Schechter will present the Joyce Proler Schechter Spirit of Life Award.
Good evening. Every year, the Joyce Proler Schechter Spirit of Life Award is presented by 7 Acres to those individuals who dedicate themselves not only to the 7 Acres organization, but to the community as a whole. They are the ones who always say, "What can I do to help?" and truly believe in Tikkun Olam, making this world a better place. These exemplary individuals have demonstrated extraordinary commitment and serve as role models of dedicated service on behalf of others. The 2021 award recipients are persons whose energy and community spirit have earned them the respect and admiration of all those touched by their accomplishments. This will be the 24th year the award has been presented, and I'm extremely honored to present this award to our well-deserving honorees this year. The staff of 7 Acres Jewish Senior Care Services and the Medallion Assisted Living. Barry Goldstein, Chief Executive Officer, and Marcia Caton, Chief Operating Officer, will accept on behalf of the 7 Acres Senior Care staff and the Medallion Jewish Assisted Living staff.
And now I am very pleased to present the Joyce Proler Schechter Award to Barry Goldstein on behalf of the staff of 7 Acres.
I am delighted to accept this very meaningful award on behalf of the exceptional staff at both 7 Acres and the Medallion. There is only one word to describe our staff's performance during this pandemic: amazing. They are our true heroes in every sense of the word. Our staff has endured wearing full personal protective equipment for almost an entire year while caring for our residents. Picture this: wearing a mask, face shield, gown, and gloves for a solid 8 hours each day while performing tasks such as assistance with bathing and eating. Our residents have and still are intermittently impacted by the suspension of eating in the dining room and participating in activities resulting in limited social interactions. Attempting to alleviate this sad situation, iPads were purchased to allow for virtual visitation between our residents and their loved ones. This has been facilitated by our Life Enrichment Department partnering with our nursing staff to assist our residents with virtual visitations. With our community's help, I remain confident that now and in the future, 7 Acres and the Medallion will be ready to tackle any challenge it encounters, whether it be a hurricane, pandemic, or an unknown situation. Your continuing support is important now more than ever. The expenses related to COVID-19 for items such as PPE, staff trainings, frequent COVID-19 testing, enhanced staffing, as well as supervised visitation has and will continue to increase the operating costs dramatically.
It is now my pleasure to present the Joyce Proler Schechter Award to Marcia Caton.
Thank you, Brad. And thank you, donors. And thank you, Joyce, for this award. In so many ways, these last 10 months have been the most difficult in my career, but yet, in certain ways, it's been the easiest. And I'd like to give you 3 examples of things that have happened with our employees that will share with you why it has been so easy. And the first one was, early on, our residents were placed in their rooms where they had to have all of their meals. And we quickly knew that that was not a good environment, so our non-direct employees got together and decided that they would change their schedule and work 24 hours and 7 days a week, and to make sure that breakfast, lunch, and supper were accommodated and that we had more participation in the rooms when the meals were served. That was a really big effort, and it made a big difference. The second example is when we had our first COVID positive area, we were staffing up for that. And a gentleman who's worked for our facility for 40 years came to Barry and myself and said, I need to be the housekeeper that takes care of that area. I need to ensure that infection control and the right housekeeping procedures are followed. I'm the only one that can do that, and I want it to be me. The third example I'd like to share with you just happened a few weeks ago. In December, we started testing our employees twice a week for COVID. And I'm sure you know enough about the COVID test to know it is not very fun or very comfortable. So here I am with a group of employees, standing up telling them, I'm very sorry, but as of right now, we will start testing for COVID twice a week. And an employee stood up and raised her hand and said, I'd like to tell everyone in this room that if I need to be tested for COVID every single day, I am willing to do that so that our residents are safe. That's one of the reasons that it has been easy when you work with a group of dedicated employees that come to work every day to take care of our residents. Thank you for this award.
Please consider extra support in the form of a donation. The live appeal cards may be mailed or go online to give. On behalf of the Board of Directors, residents, and staff, we want to thank everyone who has helped make this evening an amazing success. Funds raised through the virtual gala benefit the residents of 7 Acres. This has been a great night for 7 Acres, for our honorees, and we hope for all of you.